Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today we are going to take a fully spoilery look at the season finale of Transformers EarthSpark. Season 1, Episode 9, Age of Evolution. And woo-wee, I must say that these writers have got some guts to end a season this way. Nearly every major plot line that was introduced in the course of the season is still unresolved. The entire set of 11, or rather 9 episodes, was world building and setup. There was more than enough action to keep you coming back, but this entire so-called season was simply preparation. Backstory. Now, I'm not complaining about this in the least. This show is far from perfect, and I have outlined my issues with it, but it's generally good writing, and it really does live rent-free in my head. With each episode, it gets harder and harder to wait until I'd finished my review before I watched the next episode. Most tellingly, it soon started to live rent-free in my head, as I said. I couldn't stop thinking about the plot, about what was going on, about what was going to happen. So, let's jump right in. There will be all sorts of spoilers, so if you don't want the series finale spoiled, you should take this time to click away and go check out the links below the video. My book, Humans Are Weird, Let's Work It Out, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and pretty much anywhere books are sold. First, an epic Transformers battle. We get to see Optimus and Megatron go at it with a pair of Seekers, and the show lovingly pans over the battle. The animation is smooth, the moves are awesome. You get the feeling that the director, the choreographer, and whoever else is responsible for these scenes love to animate combat. Then there are humans, including the Maltos around. The media in the show has cameras rolling, giving this children's show actual stakes. Yeah, we know no one we care about is going to die. Even the annoying stuck-up agent has solid plot armor. But we do care about these people enough not to want them to even get hurt, and they very well could get hurt here. That is one of the set of stakes. The other set of stakes is the fragile reputation that Optimus has built up with the help of Megatron. That could very easily be shattered or damaged by the outcome of this battle, and interestingly enough, the show leaves these consequences to the audience's imagination. This highlights the argument Megatron and Optimus are having. Skywarp is involved in this fight as well, and I do want to say that the show made excellent use of his infamous teleportation techniques. That is a really overpowered ability that he was given, that Sigma gift, and in this, the show gives it the teleportation limits. There's a warning energy buildup, implying it takes him some time to use it, and he seems limited both in range by how far he can teleport and how many times he can teleport in a row. I'd say it was a good use of a Sigma gift story-wise. It makes Skywarp dangerous, but not overpowered. After the fight, we get to the meat of the episode. Optimus promises to help the Terrans find out more about themselves. They hunt up the cave where they were sparked into existence, and Optimus identifies the artifact as the Ember Stone, the sacred artifact of the Primes specific to Quintus Prime. Now, for those of you who don't know the lore, Quintus Prime is famous for being one of the wisest of the Primes, a tactician and a counselor, while also being the main force for the creation of life. Quintus is obsessed with life. He believes that the ultimate good is served by basically converting the universe to life. He created the Quintessence to be a race friendly to the Transformers, and his fate in most lore is unknown. The cave, in addition to the Ember Stone, has a carved version of the same symbol that was in the other cave, a symbol that looks a lot like the canonical images of Quintus himself. So for now, I am assuming that this is the symbol of Quintus Prime. And so, 3 more Terrans are sparked in the cave. One has to wonder if the presence of Pop Malto affected the number. The Ember Stone only responds to human voices after all, it appears. However it works, the Malto family increased by 3. Meanwhile, Ranger Malto and Megatron go off to take the supposedly captured Seekers in hand. Now, this was a moment I really liked. So many times, even in this show, the human characters get involved when there is no real reason for experienced warriors to bring the human characters along, especially when you have a power difference like you do between humans and Cybertronians. Retired military or not, what was the point in a Cybertronian the size of Megatron bringing a little tiny human like Ranger Malto along? It was a simple transport mission. Well, in this case, there is a very good reason. Optimus still doesn't trust Megatron's intentions for good and obvious reasons. Megatron's need a keeper. And you better believe that I'm going to be doing a whole video on Megatron's plans that the Seeker's freedom interferes with, as he says. But why did Optimus send one human woman on such a critical mission? Simple, to supervise Megatron. Optimus is obviously giving Megatron every chance to prove himself, but he still doesn't trust Megatron. And I'm not just saying that Optimus doesn't trust Megatron's intentions. I think if Optimus was truly suspicious of Megatron's intentions, he wouldn't have let Megatron out of his sight. Rather, it looks like Optimus questions Megatron's judgment in the heat of the moment. This is, of course, in addition to Optimus fearing how the humans of Ghost might react to an unsupervised Megatron. But Optimus seems to accept Ranger Malto as a perfectly legitimate babysitter for Megatron. Obviously, a human woman isn't going to be able to physically stop a two-story robot from doing anything. Still, Optimus believes her to be sufficient. Perhaps Optimus trusts Megatron actually cares enough of her Ranger Malto that Megatron wouldn't hurt her, or that Megatron values Ranger Malto's opinion enough to not do anything that would sour her opinion. Which brings me to the first major dangling plot thread. Look, Megatron clearly doesn't like the situation, and we all remember what Megatron was like in G1. When he smirked at Optimus and turned away in Episode 8, when he told the Seekers that their freedom interferes with his plans here in Episode 9, when his actions in capturing Soundwave led to Ravage being loose in the Ghost base. I really don't think for a minute that the Lord of the Decepticons meant that oath he swore to Optimus. All the evidence suggests that Megatron is using Optimus and Ghost to gather his Decepticons, keeping them safe and preventing losses from active war, so long as they are cut off from Cybertron. But what of Megatron's friendship with Dorothy? Up until this final episode, I was unsure of its existence in any true form, but Megatron does seem to genuinely care for Ranger Malto and her family. At least Dorothy certainly believes he does. When Megatron inevitably shows his colors, when he has enough cons stored at Ghost and perhaps some hope of returning to Cybertron, when the war starts again, that is going to break Dorothy's heart. Now, it would be a delicious tragedy for the audience if Ranger Malto was forced to choose between her old friends and the safety of her family. Then, we have the villain of the season and the episode, Alex Malto's old friend, Mandroid. I was really, truly surprised. I was genuinely expecting Mandroid to be a one-note villain. Maniacal cackling, oversized prosthetic limbs, the spider bots. The man's born for the role. But no, the show decided that we needed to feel both the tragedy that formed him and to see that despite the tragedy, what he was doing was objectively wrong. And this show does enough mirroring that I take this as a piece of evidence that Megatron is brewing a betrayal up his fusion cannon. Megatron has too much pride to serve second to anyone ultimately. He has patience to endure, but ultimately I don't think this Megatron was ever content to let the war end in a truce. And I can't wait to witness how the show handles that sympathetic villain breaking Ranger Malto's heart. So, what do you think? Is Megatron really on the up and up, or has he been plotting against Optimus this entire time? Is Ranger Malto going to have her heart broken? Leave a comment telling me what you think, hit that like and subscribe button, and peace out, my wonderful viewers.